Welcome back, dear friends, to the Senior Health Podcast, where timeless wisdom meets modern science, and every episode is designed to help you stay sharp, strong, and deeply well after the age of 60. Today, we're diving into something that's often ignored, but could be the missing key to better memory, deeper sleep, and clearer thinking. A small nighttime habit that quietly shapes the way your brain functions tomorrow. To guide us through it, I'm honored to welcome a very special guest, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, Japan's oldest practicing physician. He lived and worked past 100 with his mind as sharp as ever. And today, he's here to share the one thing older adults should never skip before bedtime. Something that may determine not just how well you sleep, but how well you age. The one thing you should never skip before bed. Dr. Hinohara, we're grateful to have you. You've said before that what we do before bed is more important than what we do when we wake up. That how we close the day is what determines whether our brain rebuilds or breaks down. So let me ask you directly, what is the one thing people over 60 must never forget before going to sleep? Dr. Hinohara. Thank you. You're absolutely right. When we fall asleep, the body rests, but the brain begins its real work. It filters memories, clears toxins, repairs connections, and resets our emotional balance. But for the brain to do that, it needs one thing first: preparation. If you don't give it the right message, the right nutrients, the right rhythm, then instead of healing, the brain goes into survival mode. It doesn't rest, it guards. And when this happens night after night, what follows is what many seniors call brain fog. You wake up tired, forget names, misplace your keys, and no amount of coffee can bring you back. Case study, Mr. Yamamoto and starving the brain. That hits home. It reminds me of my grandfather. He was mentally sharp his whole life, until one day he began forgetting names, losing track of time, putting things in the wrong place. But no one ever asked him, "Grandpa, what are you eating before bed?" or if he was eating anything at all. Dr. Hinohara. I had a patient once, Mr. Yamamoto, 74 years old, a retired school principal, sharp, disciplined, deeply respected. He came in complaining of forgetfulness, not dementia, just little things, losing his train of thought. I asked about his evening routine. He proudly told me he stopped eating after 6 p.m., following Western weight loss advice. But what he didn't realize was that his brain, especially in his later years, was entering a long fast with no fuel, no protein, no calming nutrients, just stress and sleep. I recommended something simple, a warm tofu broth before bed, 5 minutes of slow breathing, gentle lighting. Within just a few weeks, his clarity returned. His wife said, "He's back. It feels like he's really here again." And that's the danger of starving the brain. Not physical hunger, but neurological neglect. A nervous system left unfed, unsupported, unacknowledged. Dr. Jonathan. Night food as a signal to the brain. So, we're not just talking about a snack, we're talking about a signal, a message that says to the brain, the day is done, you are safe, it's time to heal. Dr. Hinohara. In Japan, nighttime food is not just nourishment, it's instruction. It tells the nervous system what to do. It sets the rhythm for sleep and memory, but only if the food is the right kind, given in the right way. For older adults, that means something warm, light and easy to digest. A small bowl of miso soup with tofu, a soft-boiled egg with steamed greens, a few bites of white fish with ginger, or even a spoonful of pickled plum to support digestion. Avoid anything cold, sugary, heavy, or processed. Those foods confuse the body and disrupt the signals needed for deep rest. This isn't about fullness, it's about rhythm. You're not feeding your belly, you're feeding your nervous system. You're telling the brain, the day is complete, the danger has passed, you can finally let go. Many people wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and wonder why. The answer may be this: their brain never got the signal to relax, so it stayed on guard, half awake, half defensive, scanning instead of restoring.
The environment, creating a night of safety. Let's be clear, food is only one part of the message. The brain listens not just to nutrients, but to everything: light, sound, rhythm, even silence.
In Japan, we have a phrase, shin in yo. It means mind and body as one. So if you only nourish your body but let your environment stay chaotic, the message is incomplete. The brain won't relax.
So here's how we complete the message. Dim the lights. Bright, blue-toned lighting confuses your brain. It says the sun is still up. Use warm, amber light instead. Turn off all screens 30 minutes before bed. That includes your phones, TVs, tablets. Even if you're just watching something calm, the blue light blocks melatonin. Open a window. Just a little fresh air can reduce indoor CO2 levels and lower stress hormones. Pick up a paper book, something gentle, a poem, a spiritual passage, an old favorite. Let your brain return to a quieter time. These aren't luxuries. They are cues, reminders to your brain that it is safe now. The day is over, and it can finally let down its guard. Because the truth is, the brain doesn't understand words. It understands signals. Light is a signal. Stillness is a signal. Warmth is a signal. Together, they say, "You may rest now. The world no longer needs you on alert." Breath, the bridge between body and brain. Now let's talk about something even more primal than food: your breath.
We teach something called hara breathing. It's not dramatic or mystical. It's just slow, intentional breathing from the belly. And it changes everything.
Here's how to do it. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold gently for 2 seconds. Exhale even slower for 6 seconds, like a wave retreating from shore. Repeat for 5 minutes. Why this works? Because the breath is the only tool you have that speaks directly to your autonomic nervous system. That's the system that controls your heart rate, your digestion, your stress response. And when you breathe like this, it sends a clear biological command. Shift into repair mode, shut down the alarm system, begin healing. 5 minutes is enough. No fancy apps, no special gear. Just you and your breath, reminding your brain that life is no longer in fight or flight mode. It's in restore mode. Gratitude, the most underrated medicine. Then comes the quietest part of the ritual, and maybe the most powerful. Not a pill, not a tea, just a pen and a piece of paper.
Before you sleep, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not grand things, simple ones. Warm socks, a phone call, the sound of rain.
Why? Because science now confirms what ancient wisdom always knew. Gratitude rewires the brain. A study in applied psychology, health, and well-being found that writing down 3 things you're grateful for before bed increases sleep duration and quality. Another study from UC Davis linked a regular gratitude practice with lower blood pressure, stronger immunity, and better memory recall. Gratitude lowers cortisol. It lights up the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for emotional regulation. It tells your nervous system, I am not under threat. I am safe. I am full. And that's when true rest begins. Not the kind that just closes your eyes, but the kind that restores your soul. Rhythm, the medicine of repetition. Many people ask, does it really matter when I do these things? And the answer is yes. Rhythm is medicine.
The brain runs on cycles: circadian, hormonal, digestive. Every time you eat, breathe, or stretch at a consistent time, you're reinforcing safety. But when you live in chaos, eating late, watching screens till midnight, skipping rituals, your brain stays on alert.
You may not feel it right away, but night after night, the brain forgets how to enter deep repair. And that's when people say, I'm sleeping, but I wake up tired. Or worse, I can't sleep at all. So when you give your body a rhythm, same time to eat, same steps before bed, it creates a quiet music inside you, and the brain dances to that music. Gentle movement, the silent trigger for brain healing. And now we come to movement. But let's be clear, this is not exercise. This is not stress. This is slow, mindful movement, a signal to the brain that the day is ending.
Roll your shoulders, 5 slow circles. Let your head gently drop forward. Stretch your arms and fold forward slowly. Sit comfortably and take 5 deep breaths.
That's it. 5 minutes. No sweat, no pressure. Just movement that says, I'm done striving for the day. Why this matters? Because gentle movement increases blood flow to the brain. It calms the sympathetic nervous system. It transitions the body from action mode to recovery mode. And when you follow it with a warm, calming food, the brain drinks it in like water in a desert. So remember the sequence: movement, nourishment, calm, gratitude, rest. That's not just a routine. That's a formula for protecting your memory, healing your brain, and sleeping with purpose.
What if you can't eat at night? Now, you may be thinking, Doctor, I can't eat before bed. It gives me heartburn. Or maybe you've been told to fast for blood sugar or weight loss. Valid concerns. Let's talk about it.
When people say night food disrupts sleep, they're often referring to the wrong kind of food or eating too much too late. A full meal at 9 p.m.? That's not helpful. But a warm, liquid-based light offering? That's medicine. If your digestion is weak, choose a small bowl of miso broth, a teaspoon of fermented plum, umeboshi, or a few sips of barley tea or ginger water. These are gentle, anti-inflammatory, and help stimulate digestion rather than overwhelm it. Fermented foods in particular support gut bacteria, and as we now know, the gut directly influences brain chemistry, especially serotonin and GABA, 2 key players in restful sleep and memory. So don't think of it as eating late. Think of it as fueling the final repair shift your brain must complete tonight.
The real link to memory loss after 60. Let's get honest. So many older adults fear memory loss, and rightly so. You walk into a room and forget why. You can't find your words. You mix up names, and a quiet panic sets in. Is this the beginning of something irreversible?
Most memory issues in older adults are not due to aging, they're due to neglect. Not neglecting the dramatic sense, but in the gentle, daily ways we starve the brain of rhythm, of rest, of nourishment. The brain doesn't just need activity, it needs recovery. Memory is not lost, it is unfiled, unprocessed, unrepaired. That only happens during deep, stable sleep. And stable sleep only comes when your body's systems, blood sugar, stress hormones, neurotransmitters, are in balance. This ritual we've discussed tonight does exactly that. It stabilizes blood sugar. It lowers cortisol. It activates serotonin and GABA, both crucial for memory consolidation. So before you blame age, ask yourself, have I prepared my brain to remember me? If the answer is no, it's never too late to start.
Healing is still possible, even after 70, 80, or 90. You might be thinking, but I'm already old. My habits are fixed. Is it even worth trying? And the answer is an emphatic yes.
I've seen patients in their 80s and 90s regain clarity, not through medication, but through routine, through rhythm, through honoring their brain like they once honored their muscles and joints. Healing doesn't require youth. It requires consistency. It requires respect for the body's cycles. And the beauty of this ritual is that it doesn't take hours. You don't need a gym. You don't need supplements. Just 15 to 20 minutes of gentle movement, breath, warmth, and gratitude. Night after night, it builds. And one day, you'll wake up, not groggy, not grumpy, but present, sharp, calm, whole.
So tonight, before you climb into bed, ask yourself, have I sent the signal to my brain that it's safe to heal? Have I moved gently, breathed deeply, eaten with intention? Have I closed this day not with worry, but with gratitude? Because memory does not fade with age, it fades with neglect. And the good news is, you can change that starting tonight. Here's your simple first step. Heat a small bowl of miso soup or herbal tea. Sit somewhere quiet. Stretch your arms. Breathe slowly. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. And as you lie down, whisper to yourself, I prepare my mind for clarity. I am safe. I am ready to rest. Your brain will hear that, and over time, it will thank you in ways that no pill ever could. If you found this helpful, we invite you to subscribe to the podcast or share this episode with someone you care about. Because aging isn't about decline, it's about design. And the best design happens when we choose rhythm over rush, rest over resistance, and gratitude over fear. We're honored to walk this journey with you. Until next time, rest well and remember, your mind still remembers you. Just remind it to come home.